Let's get this out of the way. This ain't where they imagined they'd be.
I feel awful for their players and their coaching staff.
If that hits you in your feelings, you're not alone.
I know our players, they're disappointed.
I personally feel like we deserve to be in.
We're talking about the two-time defending national champs and an undefeated Power 5 champion.
The ACC champs.
What's my definition of success? Quitting when you're told to just quit. Giving more when you got nothing left.
Two of the best teams from this season playing in one of the most treasured bowls. Florida State.
Go put your stamp on it. You go finish.
Georgia.
I know how we respond because I've seen this team do it.
Each seeking one more win. In the 90th Orange Bowl.
We welcome you to the Capital One Orange Bowl. This is the Rams Truck Kickoff. As we are underway here in Miami. And Span's going to take it out. And special teams coverage from the Dogs is going to trip him up near the 10-yard line. As coming in to make that play was Dan Jackson.
So already a massive test for Brock Glenn in this offense.
3rd down and 6. The freshman Glenn gets it out quickly, but it was thrown behind and over the intended target, Williamson.
You got to think Georgia comes into this game and they've seen all those guys that you just showed, Joe, that are opting out or jumped in the portal. And they're going to try and stop the run, win early downs, and force Brock Glenn to have to beat them throwing the football.
Carson Beck, over 72% of his passes completed. Big season in his first year, taking over for the two-time national champion Stetson Bennett.
Well, and every single week, you've seen this guy continue to improve and continue to make plays, which has really helped his confidence. The numbers are off the charts. That 72% completion percentage, that would be a school record. And it's impressive, Joe, because in Mike Bobo's offense, this is a vertical passing attack. They throw it down the field. His arm talent, his accuracy, it's just been sensational.
Kendall Milton able to break a tackle, lower the shoulder, and go ahead for 8 yards. Tackled by Thomas.
Well, I got to think Georgia's coming into this game wanting to run the ball. 5 guys in Florida State's front 7 are not, 5 starters in the front 7 are not playing in this game, so they're going to test them early.
And they do it with tempo. And Milton goes straight ahead, breaks another tackle, and keeps his footing out past the 40-yard line.
Yeah, the zone run is the bread and butter run for the Georgia Bulldogs. And you're seeing this offensive line right now very early. They're firing off the ball. They're climbing and getting into the second level. Hats on hats. And this Kendall Milton at 6'1", 220, he is a load to bring down, especially if he gets ahead of steam. You don't want to let him get started because he's hard to tackle.
14 yards from Milton. Cash Jones, the running back, who splits out. 4 receivers to the top. Carson Beck looks that way quickly, gets it to Smith as he's unable to hold on to it. Arian Smith, they'd love to get him into space with his pure speed.
Well, he's got tremendous speed, and normally when 11's on the field, something's up. Florida State's got to be ready for that. It's either going to be a deep shot or it's going to be a reverse or a screen, just trying to get number 11 Smith the ball in his hands. He's got to do a better job with his focus and concentration there.
Dejon Edwards now in at running back. Beck goes over the middle, gets it complete. Love it. Pass midfield and yards after the catch. First down, Georgia. Brady Vance able to make the tackle. 17 yards, 13 coming after the catch. Beck gonna wind it up. Ball was stripped. That was Patrick Payton, the lone remaining starter on that Florida State defensive line, with a sensational play.
And he beat 2 tight ends on that one, Joe. That was awesome athleticism. He beat Oscar Delp at first, and then the true freshman Lawson Lucky tried to get him. But you're seeing the length of Patrick Payton at 6'5", 240 pounds. He's got those long arms. And I'll tell you, Georgia is really lucky that Payton didn't jump on his own fumble right there.
Well, the guy who was lucky is Lawson lucky who recovered it for Georgia.
That was almost a trifecta. Sack, force, fumble, fumble, recovery.
2nd and 20. They set up the screen, and another good defensive play as Omar Graham comes in and tackles Oscar Delp right away.
You've got to love the energy that this Florida State defense is playing with early. So many guys out of the game. They've got all these backups, and we talked about these young, talented players. That time, it's the redshirt freshman Omar Graham sniffing out the screen, now setting up 3rd in California.
Patrick Payton put Georgia in a hole, and now Carson Beck facing a 3rd and 22. Beck with time, drives it over to Lovett. Lovett cuts back against the grain and is able to get inside the 35-yard line where Conrad Hussey, the true freshman who's getting the start at safety today.
And it's a bowl game, and it's 4th down. You're sort of in that no man's land, so you're expecting Kirby Smart and Mike Bobo here to go for it on 4th. Joe, they've been phenomenal on 4th down this year, completing 80%, which is 3rd best in the nation.
They got 19 yards when it was 3rd and 22, so now a 4th and 3. Back on 4th down, pressure up the middle, gets it out quickly, and it's incomplete. Looking for Dylan Bell. It's a turnover on downs. That Florida State defense steps up. Saw a shot of Jordan Travis looking on as Brock Glenn, the true freshman at quarterback. 2nd and 9. He's going to keep it, tries to cut back, but he is brought down immediately by Ingram Dawkins.
Yeah, really nice job of Dawkins staying home. And
3rd down and 8, and you're just going to run it straight ahead for a gain of maybe half a yard as Walker made the tackle.
And a very, very conservative play call there by Mike Norvell offensively.
3rd and 4. As Beck checks at the line. Dejon Edwards flanking him at running back. 3rd down and 4 for the Dogs, and complete to Dylan Bell, the versatile tight end running back, do-it-all offensive weapon for the Dogs.
Yeah.
Second and 10. Beck with time. And he goes on a deep crosser to Rosemy Jack Saints, complete for a 1st down.
That's a phenomenal job by Georgia's offensive line, giving Carson Beck a very clean pocket. They're going to kind of all slide this way a little bit, but there's a lot of space here for Carson Beck to just step up in, and when he throws on rhythm, boy, he looks special.
Quick to the line. Edwards gets free inside the 20 and kept his balance to get to the 15-yard line. Edwards 12 for Milton. What a 1-2 punch as Milton checks in now after Edwards went for 17. Here's Milton inside the 10 and right to the end zone. Kendall Milton. "15-yard touchdown run for Milton." Glenn back into the game as they shift the 3 tight ends, 13 personnel with Holmes as the running back. Play action. Glenn gonna launch it downfield, give the receiver a chance, and it is overthrown, looking for Darian Williamson.
I just like the aggressive play calling, though, Joe, because you didn't see that in the ACC championship game. They completed 1 pass vertically down the field. It was a curl route.
3rd and 9. And tried to go on the in cut. It's incomplete as he was looking for Douglas. Second and 7. Edwards gets that seal block on the outside, lowers the shoulders, leg drive, gets it out past the 30 for another 1st down for the Dogs.
It was big Micah Morris, Joe. You saw him at 330 pounds. He's a pulling guard, and he's going to be able to get that edge. Some pin-pull strategy.
9 yards for Edwards. Beck now on 1st down. Downfield, and a diving effort for the interception but unable to come up with it was Cyprus. Top 10 passing defense in the country is Florida State. 2nd and 10. Beck hooks up with McConkey, and here goes Ladd McConkey. As we've seen so many times through the years, his ability with quick feet in the open field.
Well, he's running a spot route. He has to find the soft spot in the zone quickly because Kalen DeLoach at linebacker number 4, he's racing to try to get that interception just a little bit late, but great timing on the throw by Beck.
22 yards with McConkey, and Milton. Look at Kendall Milton go! Chugging along inside the 10 and gives a little at the 5. What a first quarter he's having. Milton right into the end zone. His 2nd of the day.
Just really good push. It's not just the offensive line up front. Van Pran at center gets a nice block, but it's also Oscar Delp at tight end here on the outside. Watch him just collapse. You just get a lot of movement. There's a lot of garnet jerseys going backwards right now in the run game, and the Bulldogs averaging about 10 yards a carry early in this one. That's the 6th rushing touchdown now for Milton in the last 3 games, Joe.
Brock Glenn, quarterback for the Noles, only has 2 completions to this point. He is being chased down here, goes downfield, and there's completion number 3 as he hooks up with Kentron Portier.
Well, first off, I love the play call to championship against Louisville.
It really does. And hopefully for Florida State, that bubbles up some confidence with the young Brock Glenn. Play action here with time. You talk about confidence. He wants a shot, and he gets it. What a play by Portier. How about it? Brock Glenn finding himself a bit. Georgia front looking for a stop here. Brock Glenn looking to cash in. To the end zone he goes. Incomplete. As Morlock, the 6'6" tight end, was his intended target.
It was the right decision by Brock Glenn, and I also think a very good throw. That time you're running the pump route to Morlock at tight end, and it's covered, and Glenn's trying to give him a back shoulder opportunity here. Morlock was trying to work over the top. I think if Morlock and him had been on the same page, Mike Norvell knows it. That was a touchdown.
Fitzgerald comes on for the short field goal attempt. He's had an excellent year, 18 of 20 as he gets the Noles on the board. Carson Beck. Beck off play action. And dragging with him was Oscar Delp, who goes up and tried to get over Kevin Knowles.
Listen, he's not Brock Bowers, and I don't know if in the future you're going to see him getting jet sweeps and reverses and playing running backs the way Bauer did too, but he's very athletic, and this is a guy who's, what, 6'5", 245. He's got some ups, but that time you got to give Kevin Knowles credit. He was expecting it. He went up there and met him.
14 yards to Delp. Beck again with time, downfield shot, and into the hands of Dylan Bell. He has emerged as a big-time contributor this season. With this proven leader announcing that he is returning for next year. Edwards, untouched until he was 9 yards downfield. And then took the defender for a ride. That was Quindarius Jones, the corner, who was on his back.
The fact that he's completed 72% is just phenomenal.
Edwards, this is getting too easy for the Georgia running game. Straight ahead into the end zone. A 15-yard touchdown run for Dajon Edwards.
Well, there's a true freshman in at linebacker, Blake Nicholson. He's got to get outside, and he's got to be there and contain. But Ratledge at the right guard is able to climb up and get a block. And to your point, Joe, it's just way too easy right now. You heard Mike Norvell telling Katie early, the fits right now for Florida State's run defense are just not there.
You know, so many times you watch some of these bowl games, the non-playoff bowl games, and you see teams that don't take that approach, but it speaks greatly to the culture. Brock Bowers out because of an injury, still recovering, was not at 100% in that SEC championship game. 21-3, Georgia. 3 rushing touchdowns. The span on the return. Taken down. Ball is out. And Georgia has recovered. That is Spear on special teams. So active coverage unit. And Cole Spear jumps on the ball, and Georgia's back in business.
And I think it was Cash Jones, a running back for Georgia, number 32, that runs right down the middle of the field, right there, and gets the hit, popping the ball loose, and a huge turnover for the Bulldogs here on special teams. Adding insult to injury after marching down the field, scoring a touchdown, now setting up Carson Beck inside the 30-yard line.
There's been a lack of turnovers this year for Georgia.
If you make a big play on special teams, guess what? You get to stay on the field, play running back.
And there is Cash Jones. It's only the second fumble recovery for Georgia this season. McConkey. And he's going to weave his way into open space. Look at this from Ladd McConkey. My, oh my. A 27-yard touchdown off of that play.
Well, it's a trick double pass, and they're trying to throw it back to Cash Jones, who's going to be running down the seam. Kalen DeLoach was covering him, and there was an egregious defensive holding pass interference that somehow the referees didn't call, and it didn't matter anyway. Ladd McConkey able to make everybody miss and go score.
Florida State is moved up there as Douglas is now in the Wildcat. He's going to give it a go and able to read that block well, Ja'Kai Douglas, and he gets free just short of midfield, rolling his way onto that Orange Bowl logo. So they shift the 3 tight ends. Whole lot of beef out there in this Wildcat formation with the extra blocker. Douglas in the midst of traffic and is able to catch a seam again as he crosses midfield to the 45.
Well, it's going to be a flag on the play. You know, when you go Wildcat like that, puts the defense in conflict.
Sideline warning, Georgia bench. There was no yard associated with the warning.
Second and 2, Douglas. He's taken down at the line of scrimmage by C.J. Allen, who's stepped up in the course of the past month. Dumas Johnson is out. C.J., the true freshman, has been put in a spot to call the defensive plays.
And it's amazing because Dumas Johnson was an All-American a year ago and a Butkus Award finalist, and he gets hurt. C.J. Allen steps in his first start against Ole Miss and has 9 tackles and a sack, and he's just never looked back. And now with Dumas Johnson transferring out, going to Kentucky, it's going to be 33's show defensively.
Brock Glenn trots back out there on 3rd and 2, and now he's under center as he's going to sprint right. And he threw it right to Holmes, who was able to make that catch for a first down.
Not an easy play.
Look at the
there.
spot.
Yeah, not an easy play by Glenn that time, having to navigate Kamari Lassiter coming in and threw this a little bit behind Holmes, who had to reach back and take a look at the spot. This is right on the line for the first down marker.
Let's see if this spot is on it.
It's where is the ball when he goes out of bounds? Looks a little bit short.
Now that mark is even a yard behind what that camera showed there, so it's 4th down and 1. And Florida State will use their second timeout. We will take that break with them. 4th and 1 as it's spotted right now on a beautiful afternoon here in Miami.
And you'd be rocking
like a Golden Bachelor giant hat.
And you'd have the gold chain.
Oh, yeah. 4th down and 1. They go with Williamson, who reaches out and is able to move the chains. Jalen Walker with the tackle.
That was a really nice job, and Jackson West was playing tight end. He had a reach block outside that he was able to get, and the pin as well. And Mike Norvell there going jet sweep.
Glenn on first down with time. Batted right in his face.
Well, that was a big play defensively to knock that one down by Williams, because I think Brock Glenn had Kyle Morlock at tight end open on a wheel route here. He's going to be up top. He's going to work all the way, and then he's going to come up the field. And I think there was an opportunity for a throw if Williams doesn't knock this thing down. He's faking the deep cross right there. I think there was a chance for an explosive. But give Georgia credit. Michael Williams so long and using that length and those arms to his advantage there.
It's college football.
It's so much better being up here in the show. Calling this stuff with you. I don't know what I was thinking back in the day.
Douglas motions back in on 3rd and 6. Brock Glenn, freshman quarterback. Single coverage to the outside as he basket tosses it for Destin Hill, but it's incomplete, out of bounds. Bullard had coverage.
Amazing coverage by Bullard there. You know, you're lucky if you have one safety on defense that can run, tackle, and play man coverage. Georgia's got 3. It's not just Bullard, it's Tyke Smith and Malachi Starks as well, but the ability to do that right there.
They converted a 4th and short earlier, now a 4th and 6 for Glenn. There's the freshman on 4th down, gets it out quickly, and it's incomplete as Williamson was trying to come back for the ball. Threw a touchdown pass against Tennessee.
Can do
it also is a returner. This guy is punt, pass, and kick to the max. 2nd and 7. Milton, look at this hole as Kendall Milton is out past midfield, and Kendall Milton has had a sensational first half. He is over 100 yards on only 8 carries.
Well, we're talking about the run fits, and Florida State right now is just not trusting what they're seeing, and they're just playing a little bit slow with their eyes, and they're slow to react.
Here's Beck on first down. Has so much time, he's picking a weapon. A lot of contact downfield as Arian Smith was the target, and Quindarius Jones, the true freshman, was wrapped up with him.
Well, that's the deep threat. When he's in the game, something's up. There's just a lot of contact out there one-on-one.
Defense, number 16, 15 yards from the previous spot, automatic. First down.
Beck's going to go to his tight end, Delp. Delp untouched inside the 20 and down to the 15-yard line.
And the effort in practice and the preparation, but it's a standard, Joe. It's something that Georgia's built over years now with Kirby Smart.
Split out 2 by 2 as Edwards, they come back with Smith, and Smith is going to trot right in. On the inside wide receiver screen, Arian Smith with a 12-yard touchdown.
Team in the running regardless. With that guy, though, it's a bit of a different story. The ceiling is just so much higher.
Brock Glenn. Pressure coming straight at him on 2nd and 6. He escapes it, extends the play, and is able to get it to Hakeem Williams, who's got big upside, the star freshman for Florida State, getting an opportunity here today.
Stage and a huge audition for him, and I've been impressed with the young true freshman.
2nd and 3, play action. Glenn going downfield again inside the 10, just in front of Destin Hill. But he is willing. Brock Glenn is willing to take shots today, as he should be.
Well, he's feeling it, and he's giving these guys a shot. But I think what you're also seeing, Joe, and I know they didn't complete that, but Florida State's got guys that can get behind Georgia's DBs, and there aren't a lot of receivers out there that can say that. Now, he had a deep cross from Spann on the inside that was open he could have taken. He instead decided to post to the outside. Look at the speed by Destin Hill, who almost had that great catch on the sideline last drive. I mean, like, we're not just saying Florida State's got young talent. They really do. Destin Hill also only a true freshman receiver. Family and friends.
I'm I'm saying that right now, guys.
That's our friend from Louisville. Here's 3rd and 4, and look at Brock Glenn as the extra effort diving ahead as Walker was chasing him, and Brock Glenn is able to get the first down.
And great decision making that time by Glenn, because he's looking this way, he's going to scan that way, nothing open, and puts his foot in the ground and just is decisive.
Glenn, as he sidearms it, but just too high for a wide open Darian Williamson.
Well, a great job escaping the pressure. Just need a little better accuracy on that throw and bring it down.
Set crests over Southwest Florida. We're here in Miami Gardens. 3rd down and 10. Glenn. And this time he does get it complete to Williamson, who marches upfield for extra yardage.
Yeah, there's a nice job that time by Williamson.
Down that Wildcat in that game. Here they go empty on 2nd and 10 as the young man is growing in confidence. 4-man rush. Batted. He had traffic in his face, and it was Warren Brinson, the very athletic big man who goes 6'4".
Yeah, he basically walked Keandre Jones at right guard back into the pocket. When he noticed he wasn't going to be able to get there, he did a good job of seeing the quarterback and getting his hands up. Look at just in that A gap to the right side right here, swatting it down. This is a big drive and a big moment, too. Georgia's going to get the football first in the second half. It would be huge for Florida State if they were able to find a way to generate some points and just try to generate any momentum they can going in at halftime.
It's their longest drive of the day, their 11th play, 3rd and 10. Oh, he's sacked and stripped. And Williams picks it up. A penalty marker is down as they just caved in on Brock Glenn and got the ball.
Well, Mykel Williams wrapped all the way around from the left side of the formation. He beat Keandre Jones at right guard and laid a massive, massive hit on Glenn.
Personal foul, illegal low block, offense number 26. That penalty's declined. Result of the play is a 1st down.
Strip sack and recovery.
You got to have your head on a swivel as an offensive lineman on 3rd down, specifically when you're playing against Georgia, because they show so many different looks. Here's Williams here. He's going to wrap all the way around the right guard, and he kind of gets stuck inside, and he's too late by the time he finally sees it. There's the stunt inside. He just can't wrap around, and there's the hit. Brock Glenn doesn't have 2 hands on the football, and he gets the trifecta. Patrick Payton had a chance early in the game. Sack, forced fumble, fumble recovery. He might have been thinking scoop score.
Kirby Smart absolutely loves Williams. He says he's everything you expect him to be. He's tough, he's physical, can handle the coaching, as talented as they have. Beck with traffic, and that ball nearly intercepted. Conrad Hussey, the true freshman, was breaking on it.
Yeah, well, that time finally they were able to get some pressure on Carson Beck. He was forced to step up into the pocket. He wasn't able to get his feet set underneath him. And this is, to me, the one area on film I've seen from Carson Beck that he can improve on. When he's in rhythm, he looks fantastic. But if you can get him to move and you can force him to have to shuffle up a little bit, that's when the accuracy comes down. And Mike Norvell knows they missed a big opportunity for a turnover there.
Back on 2nd down. As Bell fights for it and gets it. Another great play by Dylan Bell.
Well, he just climbed the ladder and completely just took this football away from Quindarius Jones, the true freshman. Up and over. Jones tries to get the head turned around to swat it away. But there's Carson Beck just giving his guy an opportunity, and they've gone down the field to that left side a couple times now with success. And it just takes a couple of plays, Joe, and already Georgia knocking on the door again.
Bell has 84 yards receiving on just 4 catches. That went for 35. Beck with the fade. A lot of contact, and the flag is going to come out with Greedy Vance hooked up against Anthony Evans.
Florida State continues to play man coverage like they do, and Carson Beck is taking shots.
Pass interference. Defense, number 21. The foul occurred in the end zone by rule. It would be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
It's pretty amazing, Joe. We talk about complimentary football, and Mykel Williams gets the sack, forced fumble. By the way, only the second fumble recovery on the year for Georgia.
Isn't that something?
It's incredible for a team that was number one team in the country. And they were -1 in turnover margin coming into this thing. And right away, Carson Beck starts paying it off with some shots down the field. First to Bell, now the PI, and they're looking to add 7 points more.
Sprint right for Beck. To the end zone he goes, and he's able to find Lovett for the score.
Well, it's been a tough last couple of plays for Grady Vance. He had the PI a moment ago, and now in the slot, this is a play that everybody on offense has. Just a roll out to the right. It's a timing throw. You're throwing it in rhythm. And it's Georgia, Joe, 41-3 right now. You know, and Mike Norvell here using this as a coaching moment. Going tempo here, running a 2-minute type situation with his young players on the field.
Experience, giving it to the young guys. Final play of this first half, as it is intercepted. Malachi Starks, the first team All-America, with the pickoff of Brock Glenn. He was.
Man, your guess is as good as mine. It's a bowl game.
I don't know, hanging out with them this week, they have been talking about it all week long, about that attitude. The Capital One rewarding performances, the running game with Kendall Milton, Dejon Edwards. It's been nonstop, Jesse.
Yeah, it's really been impressive just to see how physical Georgia's been up front, getting a lot of movement. And look, we knew coming into this game, Florida State and their front seven had a lot of inexperience, and the fits just haven't been there. Guys have been getting out of position, and it's been Milton, it's been Edwards, even Ladd McConkey on a crazy trick play right here, just weaving back all the way across the field, making good players miss and scoring. I mean, everything has gone the Bulldogs' way, offensively, defensively, special teams. That's why the score is what it is.
Gunnar Stockton in at quarterback to start this second half, and he will run the ball to get things going. The redshirt freshman, who's 6 of 9 passing for 52 yards on the season, his limiting time.
So Carson Beck's looked really good in the first half, but you know, you might need Gunnar Stockton next year too, so now they're giving him an opportunity. Extremely talented. But I think what's important to note here is he's out there with the starting offense. Everybody around him is a starter, and he's getting a chance to run Mike Bobo's offense and use this opportunity to develop.
Third and 2. Stockton going to cut back against the grain and showing you what he can do with his legs. DeLoach makes the tackle again, but it's a first down for Georgia.
Yeah, and that was sort of a pass run option for Stockton. I think he should have thrown that to Edwards. It looked like he had him here out in the flat right away, but he decided he didn't want it, and Peyton kind of got too far uphill. He slips, puts his foot in the ground. He's able to keep the chains moving.
So Stockton, an interesting situation developed in recent weeks, as Brock Vandagriff was the number 2 behind, of course, the star quarterback Carson Beck. And then Brock entered the transfer portal. He's going to be playing in the SEC for Kentucky next year. Stockton on first down, as he gets it to Edwards this time, and Edwards already past midfield and still going down, breaking through weak arm tackles as he continues downfield. Finally, Hussey, the true freshman safety, makes the tackle.
That was a pretty athletic throw there by Stockton that time, because he's got Patrick Payton and his long arms right in front of him. Kind of a jump pass. You know, it's not the most accurate throw. Really nice catch by Edwards, and he's able to turn that thing north, but you're already seeing the athleticism of Stockton here on this first drive of the second half. So, I mean, just with that alone, Stockton could find himself in a position next year if something were to happen to Beck. They need him.
Stockton, high but caught. Roseby Jack Saint at 6'2".
Man, Stockton,
makes the catch there.
Yeah, very lucky on this slant throw, because Shyheim Brown should have picked this thing off. That ball was thrown high. Brown didn't locate it. It goes just over top and sails over Brown's hands. And how about the catch radius from Rosemy Jackson, who played his high school football just down the street at St. Thomas Aquinas. Big substitution. It looks like Dejon Edwards is coming back in now, and some big bodies as well. Some extra beef coming in, Joe, on the offensive line.
See big Micah Morris, the 6'6", 330-pounder who is often lined up in the backfields in their goal line personnel looks, and you will see him there as the fullback in the I formation. Edwards right behind Micah Morris. You got the road grader paving the way, and Daijun Edwards has his second touchdown of the day.
The Capital One Orange Bowl is brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And Gatorade. Gatorade is helping millions play. Gatorade, fuel tomorrow.
Georgia players loving South Beach this week as part of the Capital One Orange Bowl. You get your bowl assignment and you land the Orange Bowl. You got a big smile on your face.
How great is that? The weather and all the festivities.
It's like a block away from your house, right?
It is. I know. They did a good job keeping the noise down for me late there. But the coaches were saying they also got to eat at Joe's Stone Crab this week. I know you're a big Joe's guy.
I am.
You're a colossal claw guy, though.
Very much.
Big money. Big money. I think things a little bit better, not just in the pass game, but right there in the run game, too.
3rd and 5. They bring pressure against him. Ball is floated up as a penalty marker comes down. That was C.J. Allen crashing in on Brock Glenn.
That's an example, Joe, of a play where the clock's just got to go a little quicker for Brock Glenn.
Holding. Offense number 53. That penalty's declined. Result of the play is 4th down.
So you just sort of got to know in this protection scheme, you're going to get heat. Center's working this way. He's covered. He's covered. If this guy blitzes, the ball's got to come out. And that time he had the right idea, throwing the fade or the go route to the right, but it's just got to be a little bit quicker. And Jordan Travis, you got to think if he's out on the field, that's obviously something probably he sees.
You think about what Mike Norvell has been on with this journey. Of course, COVID year 3 and 6, and then that 2021 season, the heartbreak. Remember that Sunday night loss to Notre Dame, then they go 0 for 4 and they lose to Jacksonville State. And yet people stayed the course. It paid off week 1 in 2022 with the win against LSU, and then the momentum carries, the recruiting carries. Undefeated ACC champion.
Yeah, Joe, you keep developing your talent and you recruit and you bring in guys from the portal, and Mike Norvell never flinched, never lost confidence in sight of the vision he had for this program. And they had 16 juniors and seniors start. I mean, everybody was 16 starters coming back. Everybody was a junior and senior. So this year they took the next step in the natural progression. They fought through adversity. They had some incredible comeback wins, some big moments, and obviously well-documented key injuries at key positions throughout the course of the year. But all they did was find ways to win games. Former teammate with the New York Giants, just the physical and the mental toughness that he's instilled.
That's his personality, right?
Detroit, it really is. I mean, they embody their head coach.
Robinson on the carry, gives a stiff arm, and at 240 pounds, gives out some pain as well to Greedy Vance, the big running back.
He's only a true freshman. They're not supposed to look like that.
New Haven, Connecticut. The guy's growing up eating Pepe's Pizza, and he's the number 1 recruit in the country.
I know, and so to them, it's like the rich just keep getting richer.
There's a 2nd down run from Robinson. Breaks another tackle and goes ahead for 11 yards. A battering ram of a freshman running back, big number 0.
Well, you got a true freshman, and he's running behind a true freshman right tackle now. Monroe Freeling is in, working into the 2nd level and getting a block on Kalen DeLoach. And all these young guys, man, these are big reps. And we talked about this. You're no longer a true freshman at this point of the season. There you see Freeling. Very talented, 6'7", 310 pounds, working his way into the rotation. Stockton, just a pitch and catch to Spurlin, and Spurlin is long striding
down the sideline. And Jess, you sit here, 5.5 minutes to go in the third. You look up at the scoreboard. I mean, is this going to stop?
Listen, I want to be clear about this. This is not Georgia necessarily running the score up. They're running their offense.
Yes.
To me, you should do that.
13 completions, 2 touchdowns, went for over 200 yards. Been seeing Gunnar Stockton here in this second half. 2nd and 7. Stockton feeling pressure, but escapes it. Gives a stiff arm, and it'll be 3rd and short, but you get a look at the athleticism of the redshirt freshman backup quarterback. It's only the 5th third down that they have faced. 3rd and 2. Robinson. He picks it up with ease, the 240-pound true freshman. Tough to wrestle down.
Wow, and tremendous patience, too. He thought about cutting that back to the right, not there. Thought about bouncing it outside to the left, not there, and then just put his foot in the ground and got upfield. Watch this. This is working to the left. I'm going to cut back behind 57. No, okay, I'll bounce it out. No, around 71. And there's just, again, white jerseys pushing scarlet jerseys downfield.
And now Andrew Paul comes in, the redshirt freshman who's back from an ACL a year ago. He's had minimal playing time this year. Empty look for Stockton. Stockton design quarterback run, breaks free inside the 10, and it'll be 1st and goal Georgia as they look to go over 50 points today. Beautiful shot of the big Guitar Hotel at the Hard Rock. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, celebrating the challenge of road games everywhere. Are you ready for the road? Goodyear, more driven. Jess, that is like the spot now here in South Florida. Saw John Mulaney there a couple weeks ago do his stand-up, just crushing it.
There's a lot of fun to be had in South Florida.
Just a little bit.
Greater Miami area.
1st and goal for the Dogs. They shift the tight ends with Lucky and Spurlin to the right side. Now Cash Jones, the running back. Stockton. And he's going to cash in to Lawson Lucky. A freshman tight end who has a bright future. Very impressive, very athletic.
Well, it's a great job and great patience by Lawson Lucky because he's got a cell block on this. They're trying to cell run and get everybody on Florida State's defense to freeze before releasing out into the flat. So you see here, number 7, he's just working the DB, holding, then he releases, and he gets to the flat. This has been a true freshman fest, by the way, on this entire drive, right? Gunnar Stockton doing a great job, the freshman quarterback. Roderick Robinson at running back. We've seen the tackle. Monroe Freeling.
How about Pierce Spurlin, the other tight end?
Yeah, also made a big play, and now Lucky. I mean, man, talk about the talent that Kirby Smart's brought in.
Would ring the extra point.
You know, guys, Lawson Lucky actually arrived last season during bowl prep. He participated in the practices leading up to the Peach Bowl, and he impressed his coaches. Lawson's dad, Mike, was one of 3 triplets to play for the Dogs. He played alongside Kirby Smart and Mike Bobo in the late 90s. So Lawson comes from a very tough football-minded family. Bobo says he has some short area quickness. He doesn't have the long speed that Brock Bowers has, but he's got a chance to be an inline flex-out guy that can do a lot of things. He missed about 10 weeks of the season after suffering an injury during preseason, but Bobo says he's really starting to find his groove as of late here.
Yeah, Katie, he told us, he goes, yeah, he played for one of the triplets. I just don't remember, or he was the son of one of the triplets. I just don't remember which one.
Here's Glenn of play action. Downfield pass into coverage, and that ball is picked off by Dalen Everett. Everett, the very long and fast cornerback who has gained a lot of experience this year because the other quarterbacks stay away from Lassiter.
Yeah.
So they throw Everett's way.
Well, I lied. I said that all the starters were off the field. That was an incorrect statement. Dalen Everett's the only one left out there. He's the one that made the play. Nice job locating the football, and they're trying to hit Hakeem Williams on a post throw. The true freshman, and Lassiter's got his eyes in the backfield. He keeps his cushion. He keeps that relationship, and he's able to locate it and make the interception.
Dalen Everett, sophomore corner. We told you the #1 recruit in the country is already part of the team. Early enrolled Ellis Robinson, so he's been there for bowl practices. He's a corner. Very rare, by the way, that a corner would be the #1 recruit in the country.
It's his first unsportsmanlike conduct, 15 yards, a second results in game disqualification.
Okay, I want to explain this to you because we talked earlier about how Georgia's defense only had one fumble recovery on the year coming into this one. Turnovers have been a problem. So the coaching staff during practice has been allowing their defense to celebrate and actually stop practice if they get a turnover. They've been showing them highlights of NFL turnovers, literally trying to positively give them mental visualization, like as if they're trying to manifest getting turnovers. And so the excess celebration, that's something they've been actually trying to promote in practice to get guys to come up with these big plays.
Glenn Schumann told us, though, I hope if we actually come up with a takeaway or a turnover in this game, they don't go overboard and we get a penalty. Well, that's exactly what we just saw.
Exactly.
Not exactly what he was hoping, but at 56-3, I think you can afford to have a little bit of fun.
The scoring record, by the way, for a winning team is when West Virginia put 70 on Clemson in the 2012 Orange Bowl.
Oh, that was
that Dana
Smith.
Holgorsen. The Dana Holgorsen West Virginia team.
The push passes to Tavon Austin.
That's right.
Man, that was ugly.
So that's the mark. West Virginia had 70 in 2012. And now you see Georgia becoming the first program to score 56 in back-to-back. Of course, 65-7 was the final score of that national championship game.
You think Carson Beck's on the sideline now and he's like, dude, I'm watching all these true freshmen running backs and tight ends and receivers. And these are guys that I get to throw and play with next year, too. I mean, he knew he was going to be good this year with all the weapons they have. It's looking pretty good next year, too, including this guy.
Yeah, Cash Jones on the short pitch. And keep in mind who's coming in to play running back at Georgia.
Oh, my God.
Trevor Etienne, the star running back with the rival Florida Gators, who is a phenom, of course, the younger brother of Travis Etienne.
And then London Humphreys from Vanderbilt, a 6'3 receiver, come in through the portal, was an all-freshman SEC collection. Colby Young from Miami here, Hurricanes, 6'5". I mean, it's not just high school dudes coming in. They've got more portal additions at the skill spots on offense again.
You know who wasn't very excited about Trevor Etienne transferring? Brett Thorson. He doesn't like the fact that Carson Beck is coming back, jokingly, of course, because he doesn't feel like he's going to be able to do his job, punt the football. He said, does anybody have the link to the transfer portal? And then when Trevor Etienne made his announcement that he was transferred to Georgia, Thorson tweeted, things are not looking good for me. Good
Thorson's
sense of humor goes a long way, guys.
Yeah, the Australian punter with the big mullet. He was actually one of the players that they invited up to the stage for the luncheon yesterday just because of his personality.
Well, obviously very creative, too, and very savvy with social media. It makes sense.
Andrew Paul shakes loose. And Paul, who we told you is back from the ACL with a big gainer.
And also a freshman. Sports.
Start of the fourth quarter. Robinson getting extended playing time and showing you what he's all about. At 6 foot, 240 pounds, a changeup of a true freshman battering ram running back.
We saw Lawson Lucky catch a touchdown. Now watch him out here get a seal to allow this ball to bounce outside. Really impressed with how Georgia's young tight ends have done at the point of attack in this game, being physical and being unselfish too, because there's a lot of tight ends in college football that just want to catch passes and catch touchdowns. They don't want to do the dirty work. These guys do.
So a 20-yard run there. Stockton escaping the pressure and then tucking and running. Stockton's got fleet feet, man.
He does, and he's quick on his feet too, because he's watching Omar Graham cover a running back downfield, which tells him that I got to take off and run. Gone unbeaten during the regular season in SEC play, 3 straight years. Going to be tough next year, but I'll tell you, they've got the talent to do it.
Cash Jones able to bounce it to the outside, utilize the blockers, keep his balance, and a first down.
Experience for fans, for players, for everybody, just so much better.
Yeah, there was one phrase I once said there. I forget what it is. Something about Texas being back, and maybe the mockery of that could be going away in the course of the next week and a half. To the end zone, and that is hauled in for a touchdown. Anthony Evans. Moments ago, Jesse, I turned to you and said, are we going to see 60? Well, look at the scoreboard, folks.
Well, you're going to see another true freshman scoring a touchdown. That's what we just saw. Anthony Evans, who had some punt returns against Alabama in the SEC championship game. He's now getting an opportunity out here, and he's winning a one-on-one matchup I got to tell you, too, Gunnar Stockton, he's looked good every which way.
Result of the play is a touchdown. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense number 9. 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. It is number 9's first 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct. A second results in game disqualification.
Well, he's got man-to-man and a nice job in the pre-snap of Gunnar Stockton identifying that, and a bit of a contested catch. So nice job there, too, by Anthony Evans reaching back, making the stab, and doesn't matter who's playing quarterback, doesn't matter who's playing running back, receiver, tight end, offensive line. They're scoring at will. Have they scored on every drive except the very first one in this game?
Listen to this, Jess. So 10 Georgia drives that have gotten into Florida State territory, those drives that have crossed into Florida State territory, 9 of them have gone for touchdowns.
Wow.
10 times they've crossed midfield. 9 of those drives they've scored touchdowns. It is 63-3.
Peaking and playing his best football at the end of the year.
As they go, the ball is out with the jet motion there and the struggle to make the handoff to Williamson. And you saw there that Robert Scott just had a jump on the ball.
Yeah, Gabe Harris, a true freshman, he was able to slice through and beat Robert Scott up front. It's coming right here. He's able to just slant inside and show that quickness, and almost another turnover for a defense that had been struggling to get them all season long. We've seen the true freshman make plays offensively, Joe. Now you're seeing the true freshman on defense do the same.
That backs him up to a 3rd and 16 as Glenn, with time, gets it to the outside, gets it complete to Williamson, but he's short of that line to gain. Just to get back to the Milroe conversation.
The Capital One Orange Bowl is brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Taco Bell and AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
Now Kirby's going to be picking through oranges again in moments. They weren't in the Orange Bowl for more than 6 decades, and now their second Capital One Orange Bowl in 3 years. Of course, 2021, the semifinal win in the Capital One Orange Bowl against Michigan as they were on their way to the national championship. That breakthrough win, their first title since 1980, then came back and did it again. And well, you watch this program, you watch this team, you saw what you saw all season long. You look at how competitive the SEC championship game was, the level that was played at, and you shake your head and just wonder, is this really not one of the 4 best teams in the country? I mean, if we're just going best, not
if you're not
deserving,
talking about deserving, because it has been a unique year with Alabama beating them and then Texas having beating Alabama. But from an eye test standpoint, absolutely one of the 4 best.
The 4th down interception in the end zone as well. You cannot play better as a defense than Florida State did.
People have to understand, if you haven't watched Florida State play football this year, that when that defense is fully loaded, they're an elite playoff caliber defense.
Weeks. As 3rd and 1, Spann is getting the direct snap. And he will try to muscle ahead. He's close to it. Looks like maybe a half yard short because, Jesse, the football part of college football is glorious. We have great players and coaches and games, and the second most popular sport in America.
Yeah.
And a familiar name in at quarterback, Jackson Muschamp. As Georgia will be bringing this home in the last 4.5 minutes. So the scoreboard reads 63-3, and you size it up, and we could be having the largest margin of victory in bowl game history, Jesse. College football playoff that's over-rewarding conference champions, giving them an automatic 1-4 and an automatic win as Muschamp goes ahead. Hey, I want to see that smile out of Dad.
Looking like Dad.
Look at Dad.
Boom, Muschamp on the sideline. He's
look at
keeping
Will.
His teammates back.
He's saying, that's my son out there,
Dad
folks.
McConkey's out there tackling Dad.
Hey,
Cash Jones.
Will saying, look at Jackson go for 14 yards in the Orange Bowl.
Good thing he got his mom's jeans in the athleticism department. Nice job tucking and running for Jackson.
Jackson Muschamp. They're going nuts on the Georgia sideline for Dad.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on Will Muschamp on the sideline, taunting for Georgia.
It's in the transfer portal chaos, but give credit to Georgia. and defining their program and sending out the senior class with the most wins in Georgia history.
And that's key. Again, we're in an era of college football where if you're not playing for national championships, people ask the question, well, why are we even playing? And everybody's worried about their NFL draft stock and what's in their best interest.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 96. 15-yard penalty, be added into the run, automatic, first down.
I mean, just the overall attitude of this unselfish Georgia team, wanting to send those seniors out with their 50th win, wanting to take the field one more time together. Joe, it's a team that's accomplished so many things over the last several years, back-to-back national championships, and one wasn't on the line here in this game, but they understand how special this opportunity is. They care about each other, like Kirby Smart says, and that overall feeling, especially in the college football world today, is one that needs to be celebrated and needs to be acknowledged.
Team effort, playing to their standard, finishing what they started, and we're so happy to finish what we started with this crew, and I give thanks to you, Jesse, and you, Katie, for being great partners, and Scott Matthews and Jeff Evers, who lead this crew. Outstanding job each and every week on ABC and ESPN. Wonderful to be with you guys.
Oh, it's great being. It's been a gift. Thank you for all the espressos as well.
I've had one in my hand the entire fourth quarter.
You're working on your fourth espresso. 63-3 will do that to you.
But this is the largest margin, Jesse, in Capital One Orange Bowl history, 60-point win. The largest margin of victory in a bowl game by any team, topping their own record. 673 yards of offense. Georgia averaged 9 yards per play. They started with the running game. They never stopped. The defense did their job. Kendall Milton went for 104 yards and 2 touchdowns on just 9 carries, setting the tone. 63-60 is the largest margin of victory in any bowl game by any team.